My name is Leo.
My name is Lapis.
And we are leaders of the Revolution Club in Chicago. And we are serious about revolution. Yes, a real revolution. And we are working every day to get people organized and ready for this revolution. I want to introduce you to someone you need to hear. He's a correspondent for the R&L Revolution Nothing Less show on YouTube, and he's a follower of the revolutionary leader, Bob Avakian. This is Rafael Kadaris.
My name is Rafael Kadaris. We are the RevComs, and we're the ones who burned the American flag at Jason Aldean's concert in Tinley Park near Chicago. And right now, we're at the Maury County Courthouse in Tennessee, Columbia, Tennessee, the site where in 1927, hundreds of depraved white people lynched a young black man, the site that Jason Aldean chose for his fascist lynch mob anthem, Try That in a Small Town. Jason, you said that people who burn the American flag should try that in the small town and see how far you make it down the road. Well, we burned that rag at your concert, and you didn't say shit. TMZ, the New York Post, the LA Times, Daily Mail, Fox News, and others, they covered it. We had plenty to say about what we did, and you? No comment. Well, I'm here to give you another chance. Since you love that flag so much, Jason, let's see if you can defend what it really stands for. Slavery, theft of land, genocide of the native people, imperialist war, the nuclear annihilation of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, mass murder of civilians in the wars in Korea, Vietnam, Iraq, Afghanistan, CIA coups and U.S.-backed dictatorships all over Latin America and Africa, mass incarceration and police murder after murder after murder of black people, women's right to abortion taken away, all this in the so-called land of the free. Now, normally, I don't debate fascists, but I'll make an exception for you because you're going around the country touring, spreading an open white supremacist lynching song, a rallying cry for civil war, and it needs to be answered. Meanwhile, all too many people who should know better are standing on the sidelines, sleepwalking while this fascist anthem goes to the top of the charts. And most of all, because I know we do not have to live this way, that a real revolution and a whole different future is possible without white supremacy or any form of oppression. That this revolution could be wrenched out of the very dangerous times that we're living in now if people wake up and get with the RevComs and take up the roadmap that's being provided right now by the revolutionary leader and architect of the new communism, Bob Avakian. For all these reasons, I challenge you, Jason Aldean, to debate me. See if you can defend that blood-soaked flag. I will dissect your lines and demolish your hit song anytime, any place. So are you up for the challenge, Jason? Or are you just going to admit that you can't defend this intellectually and all you have is threats of violence? And why haven't you made a comment, Jason, about what we did at your show? Is it because every time you open your mouth, dumb, racist, ignorant shit comes out? You actually claimed that your song, Try That in a Small Town, wasn't pro-lynching because lynching ended in the 1800s. Those are your words at a show in Alabama recently. Jason, are you an idiot, a liar, or both? Right here at this courthouse where you filmed your music video, an 18-year-old black youth, Henry Choate, was lynched in 1927. A white mob attacked him with a sledgehammer, dragged his body through the streets, and then hung him from the second floor. Now, I know history isn't your strong suit, Jason, so let me educate you. Between the end of the Civil War and the 1960s, thousands of black people were lynched. Whole families of white people would gather to watch. They'd take home body parts as souvenirs. Postcards would be sold of the black bodies hanging from trees. Every black person throughout the South was traumatized with the fear that they too could be lynched at any time for any reason or no reason at all. Just in this one small town where I'm standing, Columbia, Tennessee, at least 20 black men and boys were lynched or disappeared by KKK and white mobs. Yeah, the good old boys you celebrate in your song, Jason. Everybody knows what good old boys mean, even an ignorant fool like you. Today, it's not mainly the KKK murdering black people, it's the police. More black people have been murdered by police in recent decades than all those who were lynched during Jim Crow. Even after the murder of George Floyd and the massive uprising in 2020, it goes on and on. All this has been legalized and justified by the U.S. Constitution. So a word to people like Sheryl Crow, who condemned Aldean's song, but claimed there's nothing small town or American about promoting violence. Bullshit. The truth is, Jason Aldean and his country hit are not some aberration from America and its values. They are a grotesque concentration of the ugliness right at the core of this country since the beginning. As the revolutionary leader Bob Avakian put it, how can any decent person deny that we need a revolution to overthrow this system? On that note, I have a message for the decent people and the so-called progressives who aren't trying to hold on to the good old days when good old boys ran the town, Native people were erased, black people and women knew their place, and LGBT people couldn't even exist openly. You need to face what is happening in this country. This is not just another racist country song. It is an incitement to civil war, and tens of millions of people are loving it. Right now, this society is more divided than it's been since the first Civil War. And these MAGA mobs are armed and itching for a new one, and a fascist takeover, with the 2024 election very likely to be a key turning point. There is no going back to normal, and you shouldn't want to anyway. What we need now are masses of people prepared to defeat these fascists as part of getting rid of the whole capitalist imperialist system that spawned them, a system that has white supremacy and male supremacy built into it, and right now is pushing humanity to the brink of climate catastrophe and World War III. And to everyone in small towns and big cities who poured out into the streets in 2020 to fight against white supremacy and police murder, know that didn't lead to fundamental change, because you can't end racist police murder with more black cops and black mayors and reforms and silly demands like abolish and defund the police. To end police terror, you need to abolish the whole system these police enforce and replace it with a completely different socialist system, the one laid out in the Constitution for the new socialist republic written by Bob Avakian. If you've been discouraged, hopeless, turning inward, sleepwalking while this nightmare accelerates, that's unacceptable. The oppression that made you come into the streets in the first place is getting worse. And there is a real way to fight it. It's time to get with the RevComs and get organized for revolution. As Bob Avakian wrote recently, especially at a time like this, a time when big things are up in the world, affecting the whole future of humanity, when those big-time exploiters and oppressors who rule over us in this country are bitterly divided among themselves and increasingly unable to hold things together as a unified ruling class, when there is not just an urgent need, but a real possibility to seize on this situation, to overthrow them altogether. If you are not getting with the RevComs, the revolutionary communists, who are working every day for this revolution, if you are not part of working to bring about this revolution, then what the hell are you doing? And one final message for Jason Aldean. You said, try that in a small town. I'm taking you up on your challenge right now. Will you take me up on mine?
No more lynch mobs in and out of uniform. No more standing by while good old boys prepare for civil war. We need and we demand a whole new way to live. We need to and we are getting organized for a real revolution.